Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something real right now. You ever wonder why some young men are out here chasing older women like they just discovered Wi-Fi? I mean, you see a 27-year-old with a 45-year-old woman and think, what in the world? You know, people ask me all the time, Steve, why do some men, especially younger ones, go crazy over older women? And I always tell them the same thing. You ain't paying attention. You think it's just about looks or money or whatever nonsense people say. Nah, bruh, it's emotional maturity. That's what gets a man hooked, obsessed, and coming back for more. And let me explain what that really means. See, let's be real. Most men are not built to handle confusion. We don't do well with guessing games. We're simple, and we want simple things. You ever been in a relationship where everything felt like a puzzle? Like you got to decode every text message, guess what mood she's in today, figure out if she's mad or just being quiet? That's not peace, man. That's stress. And I don't care how fine she is, if she comes with drama, we ain't staying long. We might hang around for a little while, but we're not building anything with that. Now enter an older woman. She ain't got time to play. She's been through the immature stages. She's not trying to prove herself or manipulate situations to feel love. When she says she likes you, she means it. When she doesn't like something, she says it without trying to start a war. She communicates like a grown-up. And let me tell you, that alone is rare and is powerful. An older woman doesn't get mad over dumb stuff. She's not blowing up your phone asking where you at every 5 minutes. She trusts because she knows her value. That kind of peace, that kind of trust, man, that's priceless to a man. Because most men, whether they admit it or not, are fighting battles all day. Work stress, pressure to succeed, trying to look strong, provide, stay focused. It's a lot. The last thing we need is to come home to chaos. We need a woman who brings calm, not confusion. And older women, man, they've mastered that. They know how to pick their battles. They know what's worth bringing up and what to let slide. You ever argue with a woman in her 40s or 50s? It's different. She'll sit you down, look you in the eye, and tell you exactly what's bothering her. No yelling, no name calling, no drama. And the way she does it, you listen. Because it's coming from experience. It's coming from strength. It's coming from a place of emotional balance. That's attractive. That's irresistible. Let me say this. A woman with emotional maturity is like a glass of fine wine. She's smooth, got depth, got richness. She's been through the ups and downs, and she ain't fazed by nonsense. You don't have to explain basic respect to her. You don't have to deal with childish jealousy. She doesn't make assumptions and storm out the room. Nah, she asks questions. She listens. She talks. That grown woman energy, that's what makes a man feel safe. And fellas, don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about. You ever had a woman who knew how to handle you? I mean, really handle you, emotionally, mentally, spiritually? That woman who sees you frustrated, instead of getting loud, she just rubs your back and says, talk to me. That woman who knows when you need space and when you need a hug. That's emotional intelligence, baby. That's wisdom. And men fall hard for that. That's why these younger dudes chasing older women isn't crazy, it's actually smart. They're not just looking at the outside, they're experiencing something most women their age haven't developed yet. That presence, that maturity, that peace, that sense of, I got you, but I don't need to control you. That's powerful. That's what makes a man feel like he can breathe. And I'll be honest, emotional maturity ain't sexy until you've dealt with enough immaturity. Once you've been through the yelling, the guessing, the silent treatment, the guilt trips, the games, man, when you meet someone who's emotionally grown, it hits like fresh air after being stuck in a hot car. You finally feel heard. You finally feel understood. And when a man feels that, that's when he gets addicted. So yeah, if you ever wonder why he's texting her back so fast, why he's spending more time at her place than his own, why he's opening up to her, calling her every day, respecting her time, it's because she's giving him something he doesn't find everywhere. It's not about age. It's about emotional maturity. And when a woman has that, man, that's everything. Let me tell you something about men, and I mean this from the heart. We are drawn to confidence like moths to a flame. I'm talking about that real, undeniable confidence, not arrogance, not loud and flashy. I'm talking about a woman who walks into a room and owns it. Not because she's trying to, but because she just knows who she is. Now let's get one thing straight. A lot of women think confidence is about looking a certain way or acting bold or speaking up all the time. That's not it. Real confidence is quiet. It's in how she carries herself. It's in how she looks at you like she ain't trying to impress you, because she's not out here looking for validation. That kind of confidence, older women tend to have it. And let me tell you, it drives men wild. You see, a younger woman might still be in that phase where she's trying to figure out who she is. She's still comparing herself to other women on Instagram, worried about how many likes she got, changing her outfit 6 times before she leaves the house because she's wondering what everybody else is going to think. And listen, that's normal. That's part of growing up. But an older woman, she's already been through that stage. She's not trying to be somebody else. She's not chasing trends or trying to fit into what society says she should be. She knows who she is, flaws and all, and she's cool with it. That right there is the magic. Because when a woman is comfortable in her own skin, it makes a man want to get closer. Why? Because he knows she ain't going to flip on him every time something shakes her confidence. He knows she's not insecure every time he talks to another woman. He knows she's not out here needing constant reassurance that she's beautiful or wanted. And let me tell you, that's relief. That's peace. Men love a woman who doesn't need to be the center of attention to feel special. A woman who can sit at the table, speak when she's got something to say, and still light up the room with her presence, that's the one we chase. And you know why older women do that so well? Because they've learned to value themselves. They don't just talk about self-love, they live it. They've survived heartbreak. They've been told they're not enough and walked away stronger. That kind of strength turns into confidence, and men feel that. We don't just see it, we feel it. You ever been with a woman who doesn't argue for attention, who doesn't ask you where the relationship is going every other week, who doesn't lose herself in a man, but stays grounded in her own purpose? That's a confident woman. And let me tell you something. Once a man gets a taste of that, he ain't looking back. He might mess around a little here and there, but deep down, that's the woman he wants to build with. And confidence ain't about how loud she is. It's in the little things. It's how she says no without feeling guilty. It's how she walks away from disrespect without needing to explain herself. It's how she takes care of herself, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It's how she uplifts others without dimming her own light. That kind of energy is rare, and it draws men in like nothing else. Let me break it down even simpler. Men want a woman who knows her worth and doesn't need a man to prove it. That doesn't mean she doesn't want love. That doesn't mean she doesn't care. It means she's already whole before the relationship starts. And when a man sees that, he sees value, he sees security, and that makes him feel like he can be himself too. You see, confidence in a woman makes a man step up. It makes him want to be better. He knows she's not going to put up with foolishness. he knows she respects herself, so he can't come to her half prepared. And that right there is what separates obsession from infatuation. Because when a man meets a confident, self-assured woman, he doesn't just want to be around her, he wants to keep her. He wants to rise to her level. He wants to earn her. So if you're that woman, or you're becoming her, don't dim your light. Don't shrink yourself to make someone comfortable. Because confidence, real confidence, is one of the most attractive forces on this planet. Not just for men, for everyone. And when it's authentic, that's the kind of thing that makes a man think about you long after you've left the room. Let me tell you something that most men won't say out loud, but I'm going to go ahead and say it because I'm grown and I don't care who's listening. Men need nurturing. Yeah, we do. Now, I ain't talking about babying a man. I ain't saying treat him like your son. No, that's not what I mean. I'm talking about that emotional nurturing, that soft place to land when the world is beating him down. See, a lot of people think men are just supposed to be hard all the time, tough, stoic, cold. But that's a lie. Most men are carrying stuff they don't even know how to talk about. Pressure, expectations, fear, childhood trauma, failure, you name it. And we out here trying to look strong while we falling apart inside. Now here's where older women come in. They got this energy, this calmness, this nurturing spirit that don't ask you to be perfect. They just want you to be real. You come home and you're tired. She doesn't hit you with 1,000 complaints. She sits you down, looks at you and says, "What's going on?" And not in that accusatory tone, no, in that I care about your soul kind of way. There's different. To rule the Breakfast Club, that's powerful. Let me tell you something. A woman who makes a man feel emotionally safe will have his loyalty, his attention, his effort, everything. Because we don't open up easy. But when we do, we remember who we opened up to. If you're a woman who can sit with a man in his silence, who doesn't rush him to be fine again, who gives him space but also knows when to step in with a hug, a word, a look, you got him. That's what older women tend to know how to do. They ain't just reacting to what you say. They're reading what you're feeling. You ever see a man fall apart in front of a woman and then love her even harder afterward? That's because she didn't judge him. She didn't say, be a man. She didn't say, toughen up. She said, you're human. I got you. That kind of woman, she's unforgettable. That kind of energy, that's not something men let go of. And let's be clear, it's not about cooking meals and folding clothes. That's nice, but that ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about emotional nourishment. That presence that says, you don't have to perform here. A woman who knows how to calm a storm without raising her voice. A woman who can look at you and say, you're not okay, are you? And she ain't asking to criticize. She's asking because she cares. Older women tend to understand that, not because they're older, but because they've lived. They've loved and lost. They've been broken and built themselves back up. They've had to learn the hard way what real love looks like, and now they know how to give it, not from a place of neediness, but from a place of strength. You see, when a woman gives from a full cup, not a desperate cup, not an empty cup, that's the kind of love that heals a man. And that's what makes her unforgettable. That's what makes him obsessed. Because she ain't trying to fix him. She's just there, present, consistent, and kind. Let me break it down like this. A man will never forget the woman who made him feel like he could be weak and still be respected. He will never forget the woman who saw his flaws and didn't run. He will never forget the one who hugged him when he didn't know he needed it. That's nurturing, that's rare, That's love. Now, I know some women say, well, I'm tired of being nurturing and getting played, and I hear you. That's why it's important to give that energy to the right man, the one who values it, not the one who uses it. But when that nurturing energy meets a man who's ready, who's looking for something real, it changes him. It softens him in the best way. It makes him want to protect that woman with everything he's got. And ladies, if you're that kind of woman, don't dull your light. Don't hold back just because you've been hurt. The right man will see your nurturing nature and not take it for granted. He'll honor it. And he won't just love you, he'll need you. Because the world might praise him, but you're the one who sees him. And that right there, that's what keeps a man coming home heart first. Let me tell you something about love that most people don't want to hear. You can't fake wisdom. You can fake charm, you can fake being cool, you can fake interest. But wisdom, real love, wisdom, that comes from experience. That comes from life handing you lessons you didn't ask for and still showing up with grace. Now let me break this down because some folks get confused. When I say older women got wisdom and love, I ain't talking about age alone. It's not just about how many birthdays she done had. It's about how much she's lived. It's about the heartbreaks, the makeups, the mistakes, the breakthroughs, all of it. And when a woman's been through enough to learn who she is and what love really takes, man, she becomes a force. A younger woman might still be figuring out the fairy tale. She might think love is supposed to look like a movie, dramatic, loud, exciting all the time. But an older woman, she knows real love don't always look pretty. She knows sometimes love means choosing peace over pride. She knows sometimes it ain't about who's right. It's about what's right for the relationship. That kind of perspective, that's gold. See, a man who's ready for something real ain't looking for drama. He's had that already. He's had the late night arguments, the jealousy games, the silent treatment. He's tired of that. What he's craving now is that grown love, that I'm not going to walk out every time things get hard kind of love. And older women, because of their experience, they know how to give that. You ever argue with a woman who's got wisdom? It's different. She ain't raising her voice to win. She's not going to say something just to hurt you and regret it later. She speaks with purpose. She knows her words carry weight. And she's not just fighting you, she's fighting for you. That's a big difference. See, love, wisdom shows up in the calm moments. It's how she handles misunderstandings. It's how she doesn't assume the worst when you're quiet. She gives you space. It's how she listens with both ears and responds with heart. That's because she's learned that love isn't about control. It's about connection. It's about creating a space where both people can grow, not just survive. And here's the thing, a wise woman don't just teach you about love, she teaches you about yourself. She'll call you out when you're slipping, but not in a way that tears you down, in a way that lifts you up. She'll tell you when you're wrong, but she'll stand beside you while you get it right. That kind of accountability, that kind of patience, that's rare. And men feel that difference. You ever seen a man glow differently when he's with the right woman? It's not just because she looks good. It's because she makes him better. A woman with wisdom and love teaches you how to communicate better. She shows you how to be more present, more thoughtful, more intentional. She don't settle for surface level connection. She wants depth. And when a man realizes she's helping him become the man he always wanted to be, that's when he becomes obsessed. And let me tell you something else. Older women don't fold easily. They've already been lied to. They've already been disappointed. So when they choose you, they're doing it with open eyes. They're not naive. They're not falling for a mask. They're choosing you based on what matters. Character, consistency, connection. So if a man gets that kind of woman in his life and he's smart, he won't play with it. He'll protect it. He'll show up because he knows she's the real deal. Now, some folks might say, Steve, aren't you putting older women on a pedestal? And I say, why not? If someone's lived enough life to understand love, to practice it with wisdom, and to lead with patience and grace, why wouldn't you value that? Let me be real with you. Looks fade, bodies change, time keeps moving, but wisdom, that's forever. And love guided by wisdom, that's the kind of love that builds homes, raises families, and carries people through storms. That's not infatuation. So yeah, when a man gets a woman who knows how to love from experience, not fantasy, she becomes unforgettable. She's not just another chapter in his story. She becomes the one who changed how he understood love. And that, my friends, is exactly why men become obsessed